Mama said there would be days like this when Dave and Rob start to show. There is bound to be some good times had by those who remember what Mama said. Mama said is the name of the game, and what Mama says is what Mama gets from the SFP studios. Mama is right and always right. We hold our flags high as we march to the tune of her music, because Mama said is the name of the game. On Monday nights, sure we know what to do and what to say, because we love our mamas, and that's the fact, Jack. Mama said is the name of the game, and what Mama says is what Mama gets from the SFP studios. Mama is right and always right. We hold our flags high as we march to the tune of her music, because Mama said is the name of the game. Mama said is the name of the game, and what Mama says is what Mama gets from the SFP studios. Mama is right and always right. We hold our flags high as we march to the tune of her music, because Mama said is the name of the game.
Well, good Monday evening. Welcome to Mama Said on Southern Fried Podcast. I'm Rob. That's Dave over there, and there's William over there on that side. Good evening, William. How are you?
And
Let me
Elizabeth
grab my
is-
earbuds. I can't even hear you guys right yet.
All
Be
right,
right back.
go right ahead.
Miss
Elizabeth is coming back in. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope you've had a fabulous day.
She's
We
back.
have to keep we've got drone interference, but knocking Miss Elizabeth out. I think it's a government conspiracy. They're flying around her farm, keeping an eye on all the farm animals, making sure they're not passing too much gas. And so sometimes all that interference in the air just messes up the Wi-Fi for Miss Elizabeth.
Making sure the dogs aren't associating with the cats, and the roosters aren't messing with the ducks.
Yeah. Well, I changed seats. Maybe that'll help.
The lucky
sitting on one
seat.
side of the porch. Maybe I moved to the other side. Maybe that'll help.
I love it.
All
Did we
right.
lose somebody else?
He'll be coming back.
Yeah,
He's
he'll be
not
back.
hearing us. So our guest is Three Ravens Publishing. We have a number of books that we're going to let him talk about. And if you like really some fun reads, they're not hard. These are great reads. I met Three Ravens back at the Green Eyes Festival, which I'm hoping to be at again this year. I'd already talked to the organizers, and I'm hoping that they will be as well. But they were kind enough to give us a quick interview, and then came on the show, and that has been almost a year ago. It's hard to believe. I don't remember exactly when you came on the show. I like it, Hillbilly. Is it okay we just call you Hillbilly? I like that.
That's what most people call me.
Okay, I like it. It works for me. We got.
It fits right in.
I grew up in Southern West Virginia, and day 3 of boot camp, I got my call sign.
There you go. They said, "Hey,
It could have been
hillbilly."
worse.
Hey, we're
Well,
glad to
that-
have you.
Well, that all came about because I was kind of big mouth back then. But do I need to turn the fans off? I don't know if they're screwing with your audio.
I think we're okay.
Okay.
We're fine. We can hear you. That's what counts. Folks, we're excited to have Hillbilly with us from Three Ravens Publishing. They're local to me, but I guess maybe they have writers from all over. But I know he doesn't live that far from me. And how has the business been? Tell us first of all, how's business? Last time I talked to you, you said I need to be out of a job because I'm so busy with the publishing.
Well, it's still the same way. I mean, last summer, they ended up bringing me back to the office there at the day job. So it slowed productivity way down. You know, there was effectively 4 hours a day that I lost going back in the office between getting ready, driving in, driving back. You know, you get to the house, you got to decompress and figure out what's next. When before it's like, okay, cool, I clock out, I turn around, and there's what I need to do.
There you go.
So it's just one of those things. So things have still been slow, but we're still producing. I'm actually working on the next Trailer Park anthology and trying to get it wrapped up. And it'll release Halloween again. But other than that, I'm just trying to write my own stuff, man, get as much words as I can down on the page. And, you know, I'll go out to the battlefield. I'll go for a walk, dictate, and try to put as many words down in the story as possible. And then I'll transcribe it later and then do my edits and stuff like that. But, you know, every little tool that I can use, I do use.
Awesome. I love reading, and we'll get into books. I want to really get in. Last time we kind of talked about how you got into this. Tonight, I really want to get into your book series and that. But this question Barry had, and I do have a question about that. But you know, how do you get yourself a book published? Well, I guess there's many ways.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of writers, and I didn't know that until I saw it. Because honestly, I'll be honest with you, I've had I've been inspired. I just haven't done it. I wanted to write something and send it to you for the Trailer Park series. But my God, you guys had, what was it, 100 people that didn't make the cut for the Trailer Park? Wow.
From the second volume on, we've had basically over 100 submissions for every anthology call. And it gets really hard to chop it down because, you know, you don't want similar stories, but you want the best quality stories. So, like, you know, if we're just doing a regular run, you got to look at it as like, well, I don't want 3 vampire stories in here. I want a Wampus Cat. I want Bigfoot. I want a vampire. I want a werewolf, and throw something else in there, you know, just cause, like, you know, a Green Eye story. So you have variety, and you're not doing the same kind of stories that the readers are going to get bored of and throw the book down.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things when I'm reading through the submissions, I'm looking at variety, I'm looking at story quality, you know, how much editing am I going to have to do on this piece? Because the less editing, the better. The one that I was editing today for Trailer Park 5, there were very few marks in there. There were a few little tweaks in the start to better set the scene, but other than that, there really wasn't anything in there besides a few commas that got missed. So that's a real good quality one.
Wow.
That makes your life a lot easier.
Yeah.
That makes it so much easier when I've got, well, one, I've got to go through and review all these stories. Then I've got to go back, and when I've got the selected ones and the contracts are taken care of, then we have to do the edits. So the less edits I have to do, the better, because that makes it easier for me to get the product to final print.
Yeah.
And as soon as we get this volume together, I've got put it together, format it, and then I got to send it to Puddle's Pity Party. I don't know if you've ever heard of that artist. His real name's Mike Greer. He does the Sad Clown operatic style. He was doing a lot of stuff with Postmodern Jukebox. He's actually touring with Weird Al Yankovic right now. He's doing the opening essay for Volume 5 for us. And, so I'm going to get this thing put together and send it to his handlers so they can forward it to Mike. He's out on the road right now, but let him see it and hopefully get that opening real quick so I can get it finalized and everything's finished.
Is your artist in England still doing the artwork for the Trailer Park series? I know they had done some of that.
She did the first 3. No, she did the first 4. So we had volumes 1, 2, 3, and then 3.5. So she did all those. She was not available for volume 4 because just life got busy. She was back in the office and she just didn't have time. Melissa Gay did the cover for Trailer Park 4. She's also going to be doing Trailer Park 5. I haven't seen the proof yet. She's hopefully going to send that to me next month. And then the double wide edition we did, it was 6 stories that were novella size, so about 20,000-ish words. Dimitri Walker did that cover. And Trailer Park 4 and double wide volume 1, those were both hand paintings. I have those hanging in the house.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
I love now 4 is the one that had the Elvis on it, right? Is that 4? That's the one I've got. I'm almost done with that, and I've had it forever. But I'll read on it, then I step away and read other stuff. But I love it. How often do these come out for the Trailer Park series? Is it one a year?
We have at least one every Halloween.
Okay.
We did last year. We did 3.5 at April Fool's Day, just because we had so many good submissions. We decided to do 2 volumes, basically for volume 3, and split it up. I've decided against doing that here on out because we had a lot of other anthologies. We were doing something similar, and to me, it detracts from the value of getting into the first one. So I'm not going to be doing that again. Now, this past May, Memorial Day weekend, we did a release for the double wide edition, which that was a special edition. We just did the novellas, so they were twice the size of a standard short story. And the reception on that's been pretty good. People have enjoyed having the longer ones. And I had one bad review saying, "Oh, these are way longer than they should have been." Like, well, that was the point of this one.
Mm-hmm.
You got me. I mean, you got the Trailer Park series. Now you got this double wide series. I'm in, dude. I'm buying that. you got a lifetime buyer here on these. I love these things. They're great. I don't know all these people, and I know Rob and Elizabeth and guests have questions. I just want to say, in reading these stories, I mean, I never know where they're going with it, which is really great. I can't predict it, and the humor is what gets me. You have bad things that happen, but you also have humor, and it's
that's the point.
Dang funny. I love these stories. You can't put it down. It's great.
Well, the whole point is it's supposed to be fun. And, honestly, when the Trailer Park series started, I was in the kitchen doing dishes. My buddy Chris Woods was over here, and we were just shooting the shit. And I kind of looked over at him because it just kind of popped in my head, and like it came from the trailer park. And have that old school monster movie marquee kind of popping out at you, and it's those creature feature stories, but we would do it with a redneck twist. That's the whole point of it. So think about the movies like Bubba Hotep, Army of Darkness, Shaun of the Dead, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. You take those and put that redneck twist to it, and you just have fun with it. So Bubba and Joe Bob, they got to get out of the problem, whatever it's going to be. The opening story for Double Wide, these 2 dudes are doing a shiner run, but they're running meth before they run into this cracked out deer that's trying to get their stash. So you get all of those redneck tropes. You get Duke boys, just down the line.
I love it.
And it's all fun. That's just the whole point of the entire series is just to have fun.
Yeah, and it is, folks. I'm telling you, I have so enjoyed, and because these are shorter, what is the word? What is that? The shorter stories. I don't remember how many chapters are in these. It's not like a ton, but you can read one and in an afternoon, one chapter, and still have time to do your cooking, dishes, whatever, because they're great.
They're roughly a maximum of about 10,000 words. The range is 5,000 to 10,000, so it gives people a good range to play in. You know, I hate stories that force extra words into it because it feels like it's forced.
Yeah.
You know, it's like tell the story and it's as long as it needs to be. We do short novels too, and that's one of the things we're going to be doing. Trailer Park short novels here soon, because you know the Louis L'Amours, the Mac Bolins, things like that back in the day, you know, those little novels you could sit down and read in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing them anymore. And there's no reason for a novel to be 70, 80,000 words or 100,000 words if it doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
Tell the story, have fun, get through it, and be done. But it all depends on the type of story you're telling, too.
Yeah. I just
Well,
want
you
to say,
don't wanna be
after
like-
we met, 1 second, Rob, I'm going to turn it over to you. This is the truth, man. I had an idea hit me that about, and it's based off of a real story, but with other things that came to me. And I had a dream, dude. Like I had a dream that gave me the rest of the story. I just got to get it down, man. It may be crap, and it's fine to tell me that. But I'm going to send you the story, man. I cannot wait.
Okay.
Because I actually dreamed this. It was actually a 2-part dream. So I know I've just got to write this thing. And I can do Redneck Twist. Maybe not as good as Rob, but I can do it.
Well, now, I haven't announced it yet, and I haven't put the open call out yet. Next year's sub-theme for Trailer Park Volume 6 is going to be Prison Planet Earth. So think of all those kind of cryptids that might have just got dropped off here as their prison sentence and left to survive.
Ah.
Mm.
I think my ex-wife might be one of those.
Rob.
Oh, no, wait. That's cryptid, not cryptid. Cryptid. Sorry, got it wrong.
Well, I just love to touch the readers. Miss Elizabeth is a retired teacher. I mean, a teacher's got to be a reader, right, Miss Elizabeth?
Oh, I love to read. Yes.
Yeah. She was
read all
asking
the
me about
time.
your books, and we're going to put some up on screen here in a minute. But it's just great. I love that people take and the canvas is clear, and they write down and they put words on the page, and it's magic. It really is. I applaud all those that do work with you. I don't know how many authors you have that are generally working. I mean, you had 100 that you didn't even able to take their book, and you have all these different series going on, including military. And I know it's a lot of work, man, but you make a lot of people happy. I mean, that's got to be a good feeling.
Well, right now the ultimate goal is to get to the point where I don't have to have a day job and I can do this for a living because, you know, I love creating, but I love helping others take that step up because it took me so long to get to that point where I figured out how to do it.
Mm.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, everybody's writing journey is so much different. I could go down an entirely different tangent talking about just all of that if y'all wanted to at some point.
I'd love to have you come back and maybe just do a show about that, about being published and stuff. Because tonight I really want to highlight
we could.
the books. And if you're willing to do that, and I don't want to take all your time. I know you've got things to do, and you got family, and we're here at night. But I appreciate you giving us some time. Rob, any questions, or Miss Elizabeth? I've asked several before we look at these books. I'm excited about it.
Go ahead, Miss Elizabeth. We're going to do ladies first.
Ladies first.
Well, thank you. Actually, I do. So do you publish all genres?
Pretty much with the exception of smut.
Okay.
Pretty much the
So-
rule of thumb for anything that we do publish, any kind of romantic scenes, you can get into the touchy-feely, heavy petting, and then it fades to black. Nothing graphic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like Barry was asking earlier, does someone just submit something to you, and then it's you just like read a small portion of it, and then it's either yay or nay?
Yes, but no. Right now we're closed to cold submissions just because, the day job and all that. And honestly, when we were open to cold submissions, I had 400 submissions in a week.
Oh wow!
And it took us forever to get through the backlist and clear the slush pile out. Right now, I'm getting ready to open up open calls for our primary series like Trailer Park Novels, our Joint Task Force 13, Car Warriors, Starflight, Bent, and I'm going to be accepting pitches for these series. Not full novels. And, well, the Trailer Park Anthology open call will go up there. It'll actually open in May and close July 1st of next year. But other than that, there's no other anthologies right now planned. And for anybody that doesn't know what an anthology is, it's a collection of short stories.
Mm-hmm.
So, and usually they're based around some kind of theme. Trailer Park is redneck creature feature comedy. We've done fantasy, science fiction, military science fiction. You name it, we've pretty much done it. Post-apocalyptic. It's across the board.
So, just so that because I am unfamiliar. I wasn't on here the last time that you came on. And I'm unfamiliar with your books.
Okay. Mine or Three Ravens? Because I'm also an author.
Okay. Like, so when you say that you are going to do an open call for those series, so are you
Trailer Park. For the Trailer Park?
Well, for any, you said you gave several different series, correct?
Yeah, they'll be listed up on the website under the open calls page, and the rules of engagement will be listed with them. Word count, what we're looking for exactly, giving references, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so you don't have certain authors that just go ahead and write for those series, correct? Or do you?
We have authors in those series, and they get the freebie if they've got another story for that series they want to pitch in. But otherwise, right now, no. If it's just hey, I've got this great horror story, cool. Catch me at a convention and talk to me. And that's really the only other way is to catch one of the Ravens at a convention and pitches a story. Next month, me and the wife are going to Seattle to the Pacific Northwest Writers Conference, and we'll be taking pitches there. It'll be very lean of what we picked through, so it's going to be the best of the best only, pretty much. But we're going to be available for them to pitch to. We'll be teaching 3 different workshops. One of them is actually on anthology. And then just talking to people in general.
Okay.
Oh, she dropped out.
She has a bad signal on the farm. Are you going to be at Green Eyes Festival again? Are you going to be able to do that?
I was not planning to this year. I took this year pretty much off from every convention except for LibertyCon.
Gotcha.
Just
okay.
I needed a down year, man. I've been working and hustling the last 5 years, and I'm tired.
I understand, man. Yeah, and we know some folks, Rob, that do a lot of festivals, and they have to take time off sometimes, man. They get wore out.
Yeah, they do.
Well, it's allowed me to catch up on things around the house, spend time with the family. I mean, work on projects. I mean, I just picked up a new project. But yeah, man, have a little downtime and recruit some of that mental. I mean, I can sit out here and turn wrenches and do a little sanding, not have to think about anything else.
There she comes. I think if I remember right, you had writers that meet regularly and kind of, I don't know if this would be called a class, but it's more like advice and sit
Well,
around chatting about the trade.
We have a writers group here local in the Chattanooga area. We count our local area as roughly 2-hour radius. So those in Huntsville that want to join in can, stuff like that. We meet over in Ringgold, Georgia, third Tuesday of the month at 6 o'clock at Caffeine Addict. And
just a couple of weeks ago. Nice place.
We're not a critique group. We don't sit down and go over each other's stories, things like that, because I found after being part of the Chattanooga Writers Guild groups, that gets no one anywhere. It's the same thing every month. You're spinning your wheels. Nobody wants to fix anything because their baby is the most beautiful thing and it's done. It doesn't need edits. It's like, yeah, it needs edits. So when I started that group, it was more about being a self-help group. We help each other find ways to research, to figure out how to get through a scene, find out about all the conferences and things like that we can go to, tools of the trade that we can use, how-tos like, dictation. A lot of people don't understand how you can dictate a lot of word count. In about 3 hours, I dictated about 8,000 words. And I've almost got that story completed that I was working on. So, there's still cleanup involved, but the meat of the story is done. I don't have to think so much on it.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's what the Corner Scribblers writing group is about. It's helping each other. It's being supportive. If somebody does need a reader to take a look at something, then somebody will ask and volunteers will jump in to read it. And then I've also got the Three Ravens Discord page where the link is on our main website up on the sidebar. It's a great supportive group of authors. We get in there. Writing sprints start about 0400 every morning, and they're going all through the day. People jump on at different times. They start a sprint. Other people might join in or they might not. But it's a community of like-minded individuals sharing information, helping each other out, beta reading where needed. I'll ask for random input. Hey, I need a female name, something Mediterranean, and people start chiming in, because, it helps. It's not the same thing all the time that you're going to pick. It's that little bit of random input that might make something a little bit different.
Yeah.
See, like I would be horrible at a Mediterranean name, but if you need a redneck name, I've got that. By God. I guess I'm the SFB's expert on rednecks. I grew up down here in South Georgia in the panhandle of Florida, and you might as well take this to the bank because I know it for a fact. All the rednecks originated in the panhandle of Florida, and they have spread throughout the country from there. All of them.
I'll fight you over that one.
Panhandle of Florida. Do what?
I'll fight you over that one. I guarantee I know exactly where rednecks come from.
Where do you think they came from?
Blair Mountain, West Virginia.
No, sir.
When the miners were marching against the coal company and trying to bring the union in, the miners wore red bandanas. That's the one and only time in American history that the government and the military has fired upon civilians like a wartime situation. They had machine gun nests set up on Blair Mountain. They had biplanes. They were dropping bomblets out the side against the miners going to Logan to try to establish the union. Look it up. That's where the term redneck comes from. You don't screw with a redneck because they went up against the government and won.
Wow.
Well,
we might have our
the
redneck
rednecks
destination
we have
there,
down
Rob.
around here. Do what?
They must left up on Blair Mountain.
Well, we do a show and we have redneck destinations that we go to. We have been to West Virginia, but I don't think it was that location. But it might show up in a future episode.
Well, there ain't too much left up at Blair Mountain. They had a strip mine going on up there for the longest time, and I think they finally got it shut down because they were trying to preserve the area, and that's when they found like the old machine gun nests and stuff like that finally up on the hillside. They found all the the ammo casings. It was wild, man.
Wow.
See, all my rednecks down here, they got their redneck from out there mud bogging and stuff like that. And see, there's a difference between a redneck, a hillbilly, and a hick.
Oh yeah,
There's
absolutely.
different- You know, so I'm a hick. I'm housebroken. You can't housebreak a redneck. There ain't no way. There ain't no way.
Well, let's put up some of the books. Let's get this up here and let's talk about this
Hey,
great.
I'm gonna take. I need to take just a minute. I'll be right back.
All right, man. First of all, this great series, which we've been talking about, the Trailer Park series, which I can attest, these are just awesome. I haven't read them all, but I'm going to. But you've kind of been talking about this already, and how that I don't think I heard that story before, how that got started. But I like the fact that you released this on Halloween. By the way, you're welcome to come on Halloween and pop in as you're releasing this thing, and we'll help you, man. I'd like to be a part, if we can, to help you and release.
Yeah, we can definitely schedule that up. I mean, that's not a problem.
Because we do a show on Friday anyway. I think Halloween's on Friday this year, but we'll help whatever night it's on. We'll help you, man. We'd be glad to.
Okay.
So these were the first. I don't know if I got them in order or not. I put them up. But tell us about whatever you'd like to. And I think we've got a couple of pages of these titles, including the one that I'm reading. But this wasn't the first series that you guys came up with. You had something before this.
We had Starflight out before this. This wasn't too far after that. But the only thing that is in the Starflight series right now is an anthology. I've got one novel that I got to finish editing, and we can get it running. But that was based on an old 1980s video game, and I played way too much of that game back in the day. But you know, this series. Well, to start with, the cover photos. I do the cover stories. So that dude with the chain sword, that's out of my story. The zombie flamingos are out of my story in 2. Johnny and his hot rod in volume 3. Zombie Elvis, that was out of mine.
That's the one I got. I love that.
Yeah, the 3.5, that's my little alien there. Double Wide was kind of just a catch-all. So there's not really a specific. Mine was. I based it out of Justice, West Virginia, where I went to high school and stuff like that. And we did have a Sasquatch thing in it, but that one was just kind of a general, let's get everything we could into it.
Yeah. Has one of these done better than others, or are they all generally about the same? I'm just saying, purely in interest in each one, what has been probably the one that has done better than others, or is there one like that? In this series here, the Trailer Park, or Double Wide Edition.
For the initial run, I think Volume 4 did the best out of every one of them. But, at that point, we already had a readership started.
Yeah.
Volume 1 is still hand over fist, got more sales than all of them, but it's been out for a few years. Yeah. And every time a new volume drops, people buy all the others. Like, if somebody buys one, I get to see sales of every one of them back to back to back.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I can see that because you just want more of it. It's really great. What is different about the Double Wide Edition versus it came from the trailer? I mean, it came from the Trailer Park, but what is different about that? Or is there a difference?
It was double the size of stories. So
that's right. You said that.
Yeah, instead of being a short story of about 10,000, it's novellas of about 20,000 words. So instead of 13 stories with an opening, we had 6 stories in there.
Yeah, you can see that. I see the number of writers, and it looks like 4 had quite a few, and I can attest. I'm almost done with it. I need to finish it up this week. But
Volume 1 was where I learned the hard way about you have to limit it, because Volume 1's got like 21 authors in it. And it makes it really hard to pay people a lot when there's a whole bunch of people to divide it between.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's where, from there on out, all of our anthologies is a maximum of 12 to include an anchor story and an opening essay. And Trailer Park is the exception to that, where we do 13. I think 3.5, we ended up screwing that one up, and we ended up with 13 stories plus an opening, because the editor on that project couldn't count straight. I whooped up on him about that already.
Awesome. I love the artwork. It really is catchy, and you mentioned some of the artists that you've worked with, but it is important. I mean, I'm an old guy, so when I think about artwork, I'm thinking about albums I flip through, and I bought a lot of albums when I was young that I just liked the artwork on the album. Sometimes they were great albums, sometimes they weren't, but artwork is important, and all of these have very unique and visual, something that grabs your attention to the book.
Well, that's the whole point. And see, Volume 5 is going to be, the sub-theme for Volume 5 is Killer Clowns. So think, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, It, Terrifier, things like that, And I haven't seen what Melissa's come up with yet, but I'm sure it's going to be wonderful when she sends it in.
I just love I'm telling you, I love the Trailer Park theme. These are awesome.
And see, I had a nightmare the other night, and it's where the singing bass came from.
Yeah.
And somebody turned loose a mutant largemouth that could talk, but he was still a bass, and he got caught somewhere and got stuck up on the wall. I guess he should have said something.
All right, let's talk about these. And I'm not familiar with these at all, although I have seen them on your site. So if you could.
Well, you've got a copy of all of those now, too, in your inbox.
I do. I was actually blessed to win some books from Three Ravens, and thank you so much. And I will be able to speak to these more as I read them. And but yeah, tell our listeners and those that might be interested. I hope they're interested. And by the way, give this man some business. These are very affordable, very easy to get a hold of, and you're gonna like what they do. They're very good.
Everything's available in print and ebook, and most everything's in Audible, or most everything's in Audible, and we have it in some other places like Spotify and stuff like that. You just have to look for it. I'm working on going wide with some of it, so you'll be able to find it in like library systems too. The Joint Task Force 13 series actually started by somebody else. Canon Publishing started it. They published the Origins anthology, which is that first one there. And I wrote the first novel, Widowmakers. And I don't know if you got that picture in there. And mine was World War II. Basically air crew, flight line, type crews dealing with gremlins. And gremlins was a big thing during World War II. Everybody had gremlins.
Yeah.
But the series wasn't doing what the owner of Canon wanted it to be doing. So since I had the first novel, he passed the series off to me. And since then, I took all the other submissions that he had. I've gone through them and published most of them. It was 2 that I hadn't published. I have another one in queue that I've got to go through and do edits on. It's been contracted already. But the gist of it is mixed military units dealing with supernatural threats on the battlefield and winning with overwhelming force. They hold the line between heaven and hell. The timeline spans between the Revolutionary War to modern day, and each of these novels and even the short stories, they're set in a different setting. Like High Hopes is World War I, Widowmakers is World War II, Witch Hunt is Civil War, Whistle of a Wendigo is post Civil War. You've got Wave Song, which is like 1980s thriller, like The Hunt for Red October. Sea Serpent is 90s Gulf War era. I don't think I'm missing anything. And then we'll have another Gulf War era one coming out with, I think it was called Desert Hell was the final title we settled on. And then the short stories, it's a mixture of time frames. It all basically centers around this secret unit. They're all around the world. They're integrated into other main units, and their job is to deal with all that supernatural stuff that pops up during wartime, because the war or the chaos and the battles thin the veil between the realms and allows things to slip through. So these guys have to go deal with it, whether it's a demon, a dragon, gremlins, or whatever. I'm actually working on the first modern novels for the series. That's going to be more of like, if you ever read the Joe Ledger series by Jonathan Mayberry,
I've heard
it's in that same, it's in that same kind of thriller vein. So it's more fast-paced military thriller, but still dealing with paranormal and mythology and stuff. These are all historical fiction. They deal with historical time periods, events, and sometimes you'll have historical figures making a cameo appearance, like in Whistles of the Wendigo. You see a 12-year-old Annie Oakley pop in there, and she gets her little moment, and then that's about the end of it, and we move on with the mission.
Yeah.
Charlie did a wonderful job with that story. I loved every bit of it.
You know, and there are, and I don't have a lot of knowledge about it, but I would think these would be very popular for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons, I think, is in war, there's all these unexplained things. You read throughout history, and people don't know if it was something that was real, mythical, outer space. It happens in every time frame, every war, and so it's good that you cover all that time frame, because I've read tons of stories where things happen and people didn't know how to explain it. They explained it in different ways. But we still see that today. There are things that happen and people see things. And maybe it's because of, the harshness of war. I don't know. But I think it plays into that very well, that people would be very interested in those kinds of stories.
And some of the stories in the anthologies, Legends and Origins, they touch on things like that. Like the Korean zombies. During the middle of the Korean War, rumors of dead soldiers getting up and marching on. And I think it was Mike Morton wrote that story, and it was creepy, but it was damn good.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
The genre for this is military fantasy and historical fiction, if anybody needs to know that.
Okay. And then we've got this series, Car Warriors.
What do you think it's about?
Wow. It seems like a Mad Max kind of thing, but I don't know.
Okay, do you know who Steve Jackson Games is?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so Steve Jackson Games, they're really known for their Munchkin game set. It's a wonderful screw your buddies over kind of game. Think of an RPG set to a card game / board game. You have to go up 10 levels, and your whole goal is to finish before everybody else. But you can work together up to a point, and then at the very last, you're trying to screw everybody over so you can win. It's fun. So Steve Jackson Games, back in 1980, released the game Car Wars. And a big influence of it was Death Race 2000, the original with David Carradine. Another part of it, I cannot remember the novel, but there was a novel that inspired a bunch of it. And the whole premise was, we had a soft apocalypse, A lot of people died. Things started to clear up a little bit. And now you've got these city-states, but there's still a wasteland in between all the city-states. What is it? Algae is cheap, so nobody starves. But if you're eating real meat and real vegetables, you're rich. You know, that kind of deal. So the world kind of sucks, but you can still survive it. The big premise behind the Car Wars series is that entertainment is king, and you feed, or you give them bread and circus. That way you keep them compliant and not willing to do anything to overrule you. So everything's televised. You know, think NASCAR with demolition derby, but throwing guns.
I love it.
And it's arena battles is the main thing with Car Wars. But there are things that happen outside of it. There are unsanctioned combats out in the wastelands or out in town. You know, people racing and fighting each other. They've countermeasures on board their taxis, along with missile packs and machine guns, just because things go sideways. So I was at Dragon Con a couple of years ago, and me and Steve Jackson, the owner of Steve Jackson Games, we were out on I don't even remember what they called it. It was an outing that a couple other publishers had put together, and we were at Medieval Times, and we're just sitting there shooting the shit and talking about some of his games, and like, well, do any of your games lend themselves to fiction? And he's like, Car Wars. And before the con was over, we were actually talking about writing Car Wars fiction. The crazy thing is that we're following in the footsteps of Tor Publishing, Marvel, and TSR. For those who don't know who TSR are, they're the ones that put out the original Dungeons and Dragons. You know, Gary Gygax, all that. Marvel did a comic series based on Car Wars, and then Tor did a 3-book Car Warriors novel series. David Drake did the original novel out of it, and it didn't go any further than that. So we started the Car Warrior series up and kicked it off with basically a Cannonball Run style race, where everybody's starting at their perspective, or they're in their respective cities, with the goal of being Sturgis, South Dakota.
Cool.
And each leg of the race is one book. So basically 3 days is one book. You've got 9 days to get to Sturgis. And at the end, there's this big battle and all that we haven't got to yet, but we're working on it. And then we also have Dead to Rights, which you see the cover there. That's an independent novel off on its own. And we've got, oh crap, I can't flip that those images to the other ones. Yeah, there we go. Go Hard or Go Home. That was our first anthology. Misty Lackey gave us an opening. We had Steve Sterling and a couple other big names give us some stories out of it. That one was crazy. And we have another anthology getting ready to come out called Convoy of Chaos. It's based around, convoys. So mainly it's like food shipments going from one city to another, or supply shipments, things like that. And they're getting attacked in the middle, and it's that adventure of what's happening between. I just sent the contract to Will Wheaton for his opening that's going to be in that anthology.
Oh, wow. I know who he is.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally just an hour or so before we jumped on here, I sent Will Wheaton the contract, which is freaking crazy, man.
Wow. But it's funny, when I first saw these, that Go Hard or Go Home, that one was the one that really got my attention. I was like, that sounds cool. I love that title. Oh, by the way, one of our listeners, he's a big El Camino fan. Do you have any El Caminos in the series? He just wants to know.
Off the top of my head, I don't think so, but just wait. It might be coming.
There you go, James.
There's a whole mix. I mean, in Burning Roads there. That was my first novel in the series. Dave, who actually I modeled after a buddy of mine that I served with, me and him were crew chiefs in the Air Force. And, his character basically took a couple of different supercars and hot rods, meshed everything together on a 4-wheel drive chassis, and made Sheila. And that's what they run through the first book with.
Well, on the El Camino guy car, you could have a big fat guy in the back of it throwing bricks at people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, you don't know what's going to happen in some of these stories because it goes off the rails really quick. I mean, we ended up getting creative license with them because Steve wanted us to try to stick as much as possible towards the game series because in reality we're writing the Saturday morning cartoon to sell the toy because these books will hopefully sell the game series that he's still producing.
Yeah.
So we had to adhere to some of the game stuff. But after we got into the narrative and started telling the story, it's like, okay, no holds barred, do whatever the hell you want. So we had some fun. We got motorcycles, we got convoys getting attacked and blown up, and there's cannibals everywhere that we're having to fight. It's a blast.
It's also funny that you said, maybe that's not funny, but to me, because I was thinking before you even said it, when you said your opening statement about this, that you kind of help each other or work, but then you basically burn everybody down. I was thinking Dungeons and Dragons because you kind of help each other get to this massive treasure, but then you're really trying to burn everybody else down.
Well, it depends on the group and how everybody's dynamic works. But yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, in the Car Warrior series, the pack of up to 12 cars has to work together to get to the end goal on that leg, and then they have to do the combat together to finish, that range or that arena battle. But that doesn't mean that they can't screw each other over and knock that guy out so they have a better chance of winning at the end because it's a points-based system too. So everything that they do, all their kills, all the disablements, they get points and they get bonuses, and the fans are awarding them all these extra bits and pieces. So there's like super chats going on because we brought the modern day kind of streamer setup into a NASCAR setting where they're in the middle of combat, but the stream is still running on the chat screen in the middle of the battle.
Yeah.
And you pay your premium, you can be in the cockpit with the team, or you can be on the outside, or you're the freebie watching on the drone that's flying overhead and seeing the combat. So, pick your poison where you want to be with it.
Sure, they got all these cool cars on there, and I just know if I was to enter something like that, my luck would be I'd be stuck with a Prius.
We actually had one battle that was basically Priuses. Most of the cars in the Car Warriors universe are electric. There are other gas-powered and alcohol-powered and things like that, but vast majority are electric. But there was one battle that popped up that they're basically Priuses with guns on top, and they were just little 7.62 miniguns mounted on the roof that really couldn't do much. But the point was to disable the other cars.
That's so cool. I don't know how you do it, man. It is so amazing how you track my attention with all this stuff. Going to the last one that we're highlighting here, it's by far not all they have. The Misadventures of Braxton Hicks. Dude, you so connect me in when you say carnies, because I actually used to know a carny. So the Carnies, Cash, and Q's. Tell us about this series, or is it a series yet? And that is such a cool title. I like that.
Well, that's Carnies, Cash, and Cuts. That's actually
I'm sorry.
For the biker world or the metalhead world, that's how they spell Cuts a lot of times. And I might actually change that before I do the final release because a lot of people make that mistake. That one, okay, so the Misadventures of Braxton Hicks started out with me sitting in a car in Kentucky with the daughter-in-law waiting for the son or my stepson to show up to do a trade-off with the granddaughter. She was pregnant with the next grandchild, and I'm sitting there writing a scene, and I have no idea who this character is. I'm just writing a scene. And she's like, oh, these Braxton Hicks contractions are killing me. I'm like, huh, I like that name. So I took off with it. And, you know, one of the thoughts was that might actually get some female readers to pick it up and go, what? What the hell is this? But his name is Braxton Eugene Hicks. Eugene is after his father, but one of the nurses, when he was being delivered, said something about Braxton Hicks contractions, and his mom thought, well, our last name is Hicks, and I really like the name Braxton, so I think I might name him Braxton. And he has lived up or dealt with the hell of that since. But I basically modeled the character after me for the most part. He's ex-military. He was a crew chief on F-15. He got out, and all of the short stories that I've done so far are after the novel series, more or less. And I've been slowly building him up and figuring out who he is doing the short stories. After the first novel, which is that one that you see there,
Yeah.
that one he starts helping out the FBI, who's trying to track down an old military buddy of his, and he's getting into some stuff. So he more or less puts himself undercover to go help out a buddy, finds some supernatural stuff going on the side, and takes care of the problem by the end of it. But at the end of the novel, he's offered a job with the KCG, Crypto Cults and Gangs. His handler, who was the FBI agent that was asking him questions to start with, that sent him on this path, he ends up getting promoted and put in charge of this branch of the U.S. Marshal's office. And their whole point is basically Mulder and Scully, playing X-Files kind of thing. Braxton gets all those weird jobs that nobody else wants to touch. And he's got no other responsibilities, so he just travels the country on the back of his motorcycle, goes to these different gigs, does the investigation, captures whatever he needs to capture, and everything from aliens to ghosts and demons, and just it's across the board of the things he's dealing with. Had an electric elemental that'll be coming out, a living house, basically like a mimic. I think the name is actually Gardnerians. It was originally mentioned in a 1880s poem someplace, I think it was.
Yeah.
So it's the short stories are basically Braxton's trying to take a break, and he's going to hang out with a buddy, or he's getting the chance to toss a fishing line in and just relax for a little bit, have a beer. But no, the universe says, screw you, you're dealing with this now. So like the last one, it's going to be in the Wild Magic Anthology. He's off at a women's herbal conference retreat with his good friend Mandy. They used to date in high school, but they still travel. They're best friends, that kind of stuff. And they ride out there, and they camp at the thing, and she's off doing her women's weekend thing, and like he's down at the lake, he's fishing. And next thing you know, there's women screaming, and he's running up the hillside trying to figure out what's going on, and has to deal with the problem now because supernatural crap just starts happening. It's like, really? You can't leave me alone for one day and let me fish? I just want a beer and a cigar. I want to fish. But no.
He gets up there, there's probably some red-eyed raccoon running around chasing all the women toes. Like, really?
And,
Come on.
and that one, okay, so one of my writing retreats I did over at Lake Weiss, and this has been a couple of years ago, I ended up catching about a 45-pound cat. I mean, this thing was a beast, man. Oh, God. and it was a yellow cat, so I soaked him a couple of times to get that stank out of the meat. If you ever ate yellow cat straight, you know. But that was some of the best meat I ever fried up, man. Big old fillet. So Braxton caught him one of them out there on this little tiny pole. Didn't know how he got it in, but he got it in there. He never does get to eat that fish.
This should play well with men who get honeydew list, can't finish watching the ball game.
Yeah.
You know, they got plans for a great weekend, and all of a sudden they got to go help the mother-in-law or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's supernatural. That's cool. I like that. That's a.
And, you know, again, it's fun. And I'm playing those little tropes like, you know, he's just trying to relax, but no, you don't get to relax. You got other things you need to be doing right now. And the novel series, you know, the novel series, I'm going to touch on a lot of other stronger bits, like, you know, I'm not going to give it away, but he has to deal with something really harsh. And for military brethren, you're going to be right there when he puts those coins on that grave. And, you know, I'm going to be touching on things like that.
Wow.
And I've already got a 6-book arc planned for this. And I'm getting the final details in the arc figured out. There's other little tidbits that I'm putting into place still, but I think it's going to be a good read through. I mean, I'm enjoying writing it, so I hope somebody's going to enjoy reading it.
Wow, that is so awesome. Miss Elizabeth, if you were saying something, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, it's okay. I can't wait to read all of these series. And for the record, I would probably be in the race. Not watching it, I would be in it.
Well,
Absolutely.
now, if you want to read some of the Braxton stories, the trailer parks, that's where my Braxton stories are.
Okay.
I have a Braxton story in every one of them except for volume 3, which actually touches on Johnny, who's part of the same universe. And Braxton will get to meet Johnny in book 5 of this arc that I'm working on.
So can people buy your books off of Amazon,
Yep.
at bookstores, where?
You can go to Amazon and order everything. If you want to go to Walmart and order them, you can go to Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. You can order them from there because we distribute through Amazon and Ingram, and so that hits a lot of places.
Okay.
You know, if you want audio, look on Audible first. Some of the later ones are going into other places like Spotify and things like that. I'm slowly trying to go wide so we get a wider readership because, you know, I hate being beholden to the Zon. The payouts keep getting worse because they keep taking a larger chunk.
Yeah.
So eventually we're going to go to where we're selling direct. That way we can cut them out entirely.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Blame you for me.
Yeah. Well,
Well, that comes down to time. I mean, that really comes down to time and me having the time to set up the store and get everything ready. And it just hasn't been there.
I get it.
Yeah, you're local. You're awesome, and we want to help and support. Rob, they've got this release coming out for the new. It happened at a trailer park, man. We're gonna be on that night, and Three Ravens is willing to come and help celebrate that. We'll help share that out, man. We'll have a party,
Absolutely.
man. I can't wait. That is so cool. We'll have the Halloween night release party.
Hey, if you want, I can also get some of our authors on to talk about their stories.
Absolutely, man.
That'd be great.
I'm inspired by you people. I really am. It's fascinating. I have one question. It's kind of off subject. How do you balance your life with all that your passions are with your family, for you, life balance? How do you even try to accomplish that, man?
It ain't easy. And, you know, it has been a hard fight to balance that. Everybody in the larger writing community that knows me, they know how hard I've been working the last 5-6 years. I mean, I've been hustling hard. That's why this year I took took the year from Collins off. I had to have a break. You know, if you're trying to do something like this, you have to still give time to your significant other. You have to give time to your kids. You have to give yourself time to recuperate. You know, me writing is a recuperation because I get to be creative. I get to do things. But at the same time, I can also write while doing the dishes, while weeding, things like that, because I can at least be processing and taking down notes, you know, just dictate a note. Or just taking that time while I'm doing the dishes to listen to somebody else's audiobook. You know, you have to have that refill. You know, you run your cup out, you've got to refill it somehow. And I mean, see that girl over there? That's part of my refill. Me and the wife will get on her and go for a ride. And I got another one over there behind her. And then, well, once I get that one back there done. So the Harley is Josie. I don't know if you can see the Vulcan behind her. That's Veronica. This is Cheryl. Oh, yeah. The Impala is Cheryl. Betty is out front. Somehow or another, I ended up on an Archie's naming convention. But, yeah, me and the wife will get on the bike, man. We'll go for a ride. We had our anniversary cabin weekend last weekend. It's a few weeks late, but my brother passed, and we had to go to West Virginia for the funeral, which happened to be our anniversary weekend. But last weekend we went, and we just did nothing but sit in the hot tub, basically. And we rode out there. We rode back. But while we were there, we were actually tossing around the Braxton Hicks arc. And, okay, what's this story? What's these novels going to be? What's going to be in them? How do we tie it all together? What's the purpose of it? You know, because to me, that's actually relaxing because it gets those squirrels in the back of my head to shut the hell up for a minute so I can relax.
I understand that.
I mean, I found this sweet little fishing hole out here at the battlefield, man. I'll go out there, I'll toss me in a line, and I'll just start dictating. And I'll start riding. And that's relaxing to me. Huh?
You talking about at the quarry?
No, over here in the battlefield. It's just on the back to the side of the Chickamauga battlefield, yeah.
Yeah. I think that used to be an old quarry, didn't it?
No, this is on the creek.
Okay. I've been on that creek too.
That's important, you know, to refill, to to get time with the kids, with the wife, and that's cool. You gotta have that. And I get what you're saying about when you're working. That's important to you because that's what you're passionate about. You're being creative.
Yeah.
So you have to get that stuff out. You have to. Celtic Blacksmith, been there, buddy. My sanctuary is a little harder than yours is, though.
No. My Forge is out back right now. I moved it out of the shop because I had to pull Cheryl in here. But I'll be extending the lean-to out back so I can get it back up and running. We can start making some blades come fall.
Nice.
I understand, man. I've got a lot of I am ADHD squirrel. I am all over the place, and I find passion in so many different things that I can do and create. And you know, I don't sell anything. Hell, I make honey mead, and I give more of it away than I've ever gotten anything else out of. But the look on somebody's face when they try it for the first time is just amazing. You know, Steve Jackson, first time I met him, man, I got him snookered on honey mead at LibertyCon one year, and I didn't even know him then. He just come up, tapped me on the back, and had a glass of it. It's like, this is good, man. He was gone. But I make 40 proof hooch on a ferment. The anvil is, I think my anvil was dated 1891. I don't remember what brand. The forge, it's just a Chinese propane forge, but I do have a brake drum forge out back I use with charcoal. I was making my own charcoal at one point, but that's a little extra time consuming, so I kind of stopped.
Now, Steve uses an easy bake oven for his forge with some great big light bulbs. I don't know where the heck he got those light bulbs at, but I've seen it. It looks just like an easy bake.
Oh,
There are several parts on that Kawasaki Vulcan over there that I did forge, including the back seat mount. I made a few things over the years, but just more or less piddling around, moving steel, just to do it, you know?
yeah. So,
Steve's going to fire off in a minute. I'm going to have to pay for that comment.
yeah, Steve has questions. So he's a blacksmith from Ohio. So he's friends with the program, and we like to give him a hard time. He gives us a hard time, but it's all good natured. So is there something out there that you haven't gotten to yet that you think it's still in the design stage? You don't have to say what it is, but you can't get to it because you have so many things going on at one time that you just say, man, I've got to get that done someday.
Well, like writing wise, or
Yeah, or anything that. But yeah, start with writing. Is there something writing that you go, man, I've still got ideas I've got to get moved?
Oh, dude, you have no idea how thick my slush pile is. I mean, hell, we went to lunch last Friday, and we're sitting there, we're talking, they're talking sports, looking at the screens and everything. And it's like, oh. And as soon as we get back to the office, I'm jotting down that idea. My boss don't care because he knows what's happening. And if I don't get it out of my head, I'm going to be useless. So I'm like, okay, cool. There's another story idea that I could at least get 4 or 5 books. It's just a matter of getting the time to do them. But
yeah,
I have spent the last 5-6 years really building up Three Ravens. It put me on a sidetrack from my writing, but I built a platform that everybody's recognizing now. And that to me is wonderful. But now it's time to shift that gear. And, all that extra work that we had since I've been in the office, I'm getting all of that backlog cleared out so I can focus on my writing and then these primary series that we're doing. One of them I didn't send to you was Bent, Biologic Enhanced Nascent Talent. It's basically superheroes. And a meteor fell in the 50s, and everybody got a little dose of the dust when it circled the earth. And some people got useless little talents where, like fingernails grew like insanely fast, or their hair could grow in like 10 minutes after they cut it. But other people actually got the superpowers, like flight and weather control and stuff like that. So we got that series coming up that I got 2 chapters to finish on my first novel in that one, and then it's out, which is a 3 book if I do it right.
I'm going to be reading a lot.
I know
I like all these ideas.
I can picture one of your books now. I can picture one. It's a parody of Jaws on a lake. It was a giant flathead catfish. I can see it.
Oh, I hate you now.
Oh, we're going to need a bigger boat.
Come on, Rob.
Well, if one of the sub themes of Trailer Park was, fishing stories or too big to be believed kind of thing.
Look, tell him to write it himself. Tell him to write it himself.
Dude.
Hey, look.
Even if it was a good story, they wouldn't take it because the punctuation and the spelling would be atrocious. I don't do that stuff.
I'll read it for you. I'll read it for you for the first pass through. I ain't promising a lot, but I'll read it for you. I'll go through it for you for the first pass through.
You'd be crying.
I probably would, but
I spelled soap, S-O-P-E, till I was in the 6th grade.
Do what?
I spelled soap, S-O-P-E, till I was in the 6th grade.
Well, that's acceptable down in the Panhandle.
Yeah, but in my defense, hope, H-O-P-E, dope, D-O-P-E.
Right, yeah.
C-O-P-E, soap, S-O-P-E, no.
I love it. Has
I have
AI
a-
affected?
I have a question
Go
because
ahead.
Barry has asked this a couple of times, and I don't think it's been asked. He wants to know, like, what kind of tools do you use for dictation?
Oh, I'm cheap, so I just use my phone. The voice recorder that comes on the phone,
Yeah.
I record on it. I have a subscription to Microsoft 365 online because it's now everything's subscription based, which I hate.
Yeah.
But the Microsoft Word online has a transcription tool on there that you can take that audio file, upload it, let it transcribe, then you just go copy, paste. And what I do is I'll copy it over with the timestamps. That way, if I need to go back and listen to the audio because, somebody else could be walking by, there could be some background noise, something could flub it up and it not record correctly. You're like, what the hell was I saying there? You can go back and listen real quick. And then, because I'll take that, I'll copy it, I'll paste it in, and then I'll start actually cleaning it up, editing, and writing the clean text. But sometimes it's like, I have no idea what the hell I was saying. So I'll go back and listen just to be on the safe side. There's people that they'll spend a few $100s on a microphone and a recorder, or they'll get Dragon. Dragon's a really good dictation software. Dragon doesn't do me any good. It doesn't like Hillbilly.
Yeah.
It has never translated me well. I tried it when it first came out and it didn't do well.
It doesn't do me too bad if I think about no accent. It doesn't bad, but if I get on the kick, I've been back down here in South Georgia for 4.5 years now, so I'm getting my South Georgia accent back. And I'm gonna tell you something, it don't like me.
No. And
Every time I come around, it's like it's going, huh?
No matter what kind of dictation software you're using, the cleaner you can get your accent, the better. So it picks up, and it's less work on the back end, when you're doing your edit.
Well, honey, it won't like me at all then. They won't, none of them probably like me.
She's the only lady.
But if nothing else, you at least have the reference you can go back and listen to when you type it out. When I do most of my work, I'm working on Google Docs because one, it's free. Two, I can pretty much access it anywhere from my phone. So honestly, if I'm sitting on the clapper, okay, cool. I can type in a couple of more sentences and get me a little further along on the story instead of doing nothing and wasting time on Facebook, doom scrolling. I actually put it to productive use. I do
love Google Docs.
It comes down to where you want to put your bang for the buck kind of thing. I mean, if you want to put your money into some expensive software or hardware, go for it, Everybody's got their path to find, and you'll find what works best for you, and it could take some trial and error,
Yeah.
How, has AI affected what you do at all? Oh, we lost him.
We lost him.
He's. Hopefully he'll be able to get back. I love this. It is absolutely. And listen, Elizabeth, you've got to start with that trailer series. I mean, you live in a trailer. You're going to love that series. I'm telling you, it is so cool. And I've got to get the other ones that I don't have in that series and kind of go back and get those early ones and come back up. But every series he talks about, I find dang interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a buffet that there's. I'm a picky eater, but his books, every one of them interests me.
I know. We know you are a picky eater. We know.
And when we say picky, we mean picky.
Honey, I've never seen no more of a picky eater than he is.
I think they have a real good grasp of just making things that their passion mixed with very interesting. And I just find that, I've read a lot of books, and some books are hard to get into.
I can't get into it by the first 3 or 4 pages, you might as well forget it. I ain't reading it.
Yeah. And I like something that just reaches out and grabs me and gets me in, and you enjoy it. And hey, Hillbilly's back.
Sorry.
But
I hit the wrong button when I was trying to take a look at the chat.
We did the same thing.
It's okay. I do that all the time.
No, I was just saying that your books do a great job of grabbing your attention really quickly, and you just are drawn in. There's nothing that I've seen that you do that I go, I'll pass. Everything is interesting to me, and I think that's amazing. My question was right before you dropped off was, has AI affected anything that in the way that writers do anything, or have you seen that effect of AI having any, in some way, affected what you do?
Several ways. There's been a rash of AI-generated novels that have just been thrown into Amazon. Amazon itself is creating its own AI novels where you can tell it what you want to read. Like, think about the whale readers that read that same romance novel over and over and over, but it's just, they change the window flashing on it. But at the core of it, it's the same damn story. So Amazon's been working on that where you can go, oh, I want werewolves, I want the heroine, and I want a harem or a reverse harem of men, and and you can tell it what you want, and it'll generate the story for you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
On the side for publishers, I mean, there are AI tools that are useful tools if they're used properly. Go away, cat. No. I got a cat jumping in my lap.
Barry, that's for Steve. That's his story.
There's been a rash of people submitting fully generated novels that read like crap, but at some point, it's going to start getting good. Either it's just going to absolutely devour itself and become cannibalistic, and you'll never see anything good out of it. But I'm willing to bet that it'll get to the point where you're not going to be able to tell the difference. People are freaking out, and they're worried about that. But at that point, that's when we start labeling human-written or organically written. It'll be a sales point at that point. Same kind of thing when it comes down to covers and cover art. Some of our covers, they have AI generated bits in it, but the cover designer that I use, she uses layers of stock art along with some generated bits to round it all out. Because certain things she just can't find. Because you can go into like Adobe Stock and all these different other stock places and get artwork and like images of people and things like that you can use. You manipulate it and you layer it in to make the covers. But sometimes you just need that little thing off in the background, or you need a border or something like that makes it okay. Cool. Here's a border. But again, it's a tool to be used. I mean, a lot of people have been freaking about it, but I see it just like GarageBand from back in the day. When GarageBand first came out, musicians were like, oh my God, drummers are going to get replaced. No, they're not. It's great for that lone dude to set up a demo track and maybe get somewhere or to flesh out an idea, but it's not going to replace a drummer laying down an actual drum track.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it never did. It's a tool to be used. So, it's going to go through these phases, and it'll eventually just be what we all see. I mean, we're already seeing AI-generated videos and short films coming up on Facebook and things like that. I mean, I have no doubt that Hollywood's going to tap it. They're already trying to tap it for actor voices and such. And that's what one of the last SAG-AFTRA strikes was about. Because they didn't want Hollywood to take their likeness or their voices and use them as they will. And I can't blame them, that's their bread and butter.
Sure.
Why pay the actor when you can just use a generated deal, So.
Yeah. And, you got all these great voice actors and stuff.
Yeah.
And, put AI out there, it just wiped them out. Mark Hamill being one of them.
Yeah. I mean, he has done so many voice acting bits over the years. I mean, he did the Joker
Yes.
for. He's done the Joker for like 20 plus years, I think.
Yeah. Yes. And he is awesome at it.
I think that's a great analogy you said about the
Question, and I
drummer.
know this-
You know, it's you have to use the tools that come along, but there's just some things that's not going to be replaced. And it's kind of
Yeah.
like things, we know things go in circles anyway, and it might be a little different when they come back around. It was when everything, music styles changed, and people started recording, and you can record a whole album on your phone if you wanted to, but
Yeah.
there's still nothing like guys getting in a room recording live, and
Yep.
that will always be something that somebody wants. I think it's just different flavors for different folks. I prefer things that are very gritty. I like the little mistakes in there. It lets me know that it's real. I don't want something that's so clean I can't really enjoy it. I want to hear a screaming guitar. So
Yeah.
when a writer writes, I don't want it. I want that flavor of that person's demented mind or whatever it is to come out. I don't want AI. I don't mind that it being there, being somewhat helping, but I want to hear what someone has to say, because that's something that got in there, and there's a story behind it. Like you said, sitting in a car and all of a sudden somebody says something. I mean, Greg Allman said that about one of the biggest songs they ever had. He heard a girl's name in a store. He was looking
Yeah.
for the name. AI can't do that. That just happens. It's like the universe just drops in and says, "Here you go." It's crazy.
Yeah,
But AI
inspiration happens anywhere. I mean, hell, we were sitting at lunch in a Mexican restaurant. I'm like, huh. And I got a new story idea,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
And
that's
you
cool.
can pick up on different writers like Stephen King. I'm throwing out. I used to be a huge Stephen King fan. I wasn't confused or thrown off for nothing when he started writing as Richard Bachman. It carries over. The style of the writing, the character development, and everything was still there. It was still Stephen King, but he's writing under a different name. And I don't know how many people got fooled for very long in that. I don't think there was many. Excuse me.
Dean,
But AI
Dean
can't.
says that he found your books on Kindle, so there are people looking stuff up. Dean,
Okay.
just go ahead and buy one, Dean. That car series sounds like you, Dean.
Well, the other war series with the different cryptids sounds more like me. I think I will look them up. So
Yes. And real quick, we'll put them back up so people can see the ones that we did cover. Let's go back to the beginning. And
take a look at the Three Ravens website. It's threeravenspublishing.com. I've got to do site updates this weekend and get some other stuff up there. We've got a couple of new things coming out. We have a release coming this weekend or this Friday. Wait, no, it's the 19th. I'm sorry. There's a portal to another dimension in the porn room at the back of the video store. Is how this story starts. It's funny as hell. It is a chaotic romp in this other dimension, and I loved it from the get-go. It's called Entry Level. I think a post went out today with a link to it. It's up. It's got a link on Amazon right now, so you can pre-order the ebook if you wanted. If you're into noir, we have The Dead Don't Pay. James Donzella's, I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's his debut novel, and it's that old style gumshoe in San Francisco back in the 40s. Dude, I burned through this book in a day and a half, and I don't read fast. I mean, ADHD and I'm dyslexic. Go figure, I'm a writer and a publisher. But
wow.
It hooked me so hard, I was just like, I couldn't put it down. We went to Gatlinburg, or to Pigeon Forge to do what my boy's birthday trip out there, and I'm sitting there, I'm just reading the whole way up. And while we're there, where nothing else is going on, I'm sitting there reading because it had me sucked in, man.
Wow, that's cool.
Wow.
But we've got a little bit of everything at Three Ravens, and then if you want to find my stuff, look at WilliamJosephRoberts.com. I'm getting better about putting posts up there because I've been focusing on Three Ravens. So follow both of them, and you'll absolutely find out what I'm doing.
Okay. Well, we
On Three
appreciate-
Ravens.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Dave.
No, go
On
ahead,
Three
Miss Lee.
Ravens, do you put on? I'm sorry. On Three Ravens Publishing, do you put when you have your time in Ringo that you meet? I think you said, was it once a month?
Yeah,
At
it's
the
the
coffee
third
place.
Tuesday of the month. I don't know if it's on there, but I could absolutely put that information there.
Okay.
I would like to go. I think that would be interesting.
I know.
Just to get around
Yeah.
folks that are inspiring like that and ask questions. Listen. I like to just listen. You know what? You pick up
Yeah,
on
and
stuff.
I can absolutely put that information up there for anybody that'd like to attend. And we go to Caffeine Addict. They have great coffees. Everybody ends up buying dinner there basically, and that's they never required us to do it, but we do it just because they open up just for us. They close at 4, and they open back up at 6 just so we can have our meeting.
Oh,
So
nice.
we try our best to take care of Denny and at least give back.
Yeah, that's great.
And anytime we see that they've got some kind of event going, everybody tries to share it and things like that. Denny's great people though.
Yeah, if you will, and two, I know you have so much going on. If there's any way you could just send us when you've got releases coming out or anything, we always talk about you, and we will be glad to promote anything and everything that you've got going on. Because Rob, we've had their card in our mix for, I guess, ever since he came on.
Yeah, we still talk about you. And I do have a very, very quick question. I am a big fan of Kindle Unlimited.
Okay.
I like pulling books out of the library and putting them back in. And I see that some of your books are on Kindle Unlimited. How do you get paid off that?
We get paid by the page read. So every page that you flip and go to that next one, that's how we get paid. That is a very slanted sliding scale.
Okay.
So all the money that all UKU readers put into the pot goes to everybody getting their page read. But
Okay.
certain titles tend to get a whole lot more of that chunk than the rest of us.
Okay.
But we do get paid by the page read.
Okay.
Interesting. I didn't know
All
that.
right. So if I do it off Unlimited, I need to make sure that I at least scroll through the whole book.
Yes.
And I'll read the whole book, but like even if there's like acknowledgments or the stuff at the beginning, make sure that you scroll through the whole thing and not just stop
Yep.
when the book ends, but there's always something at the end there. Make sure you get.
And see,
Right.
every time that somebody buys one of our books or goes through and reads the ebook, that helps the algorithm say, hey, people are looking at this, and they'll try to bump it up another level. And, that's one thing with the Trailer Park series. They have held in the top 100 for whatever category they end up landing in as a primary. And it's wild.
Right.
Like, Whistles of the Wendigo was number 1 for the longest while in Western horror, I think it was. So they tend to stay in that top 100, whatever their primary category lands in, and people enjoy them.
Yeah.
I forgot what most of the trailer parks were in. It's a mix.
That's cool.
Okay. Now I am a reader. Now I read throughout the day, every day. I mean, there's not. I forget what I'm on Kindle. at what my day streak is. It's in the years. I read every day. I mean, I do read something every day. I can't spell for nothing. My punctuation's like crap when I write, but I do read. So, and this is a genre that I would enjoy. All of these are. So I will be. You'll be getting some page flips.
Best way to know what we got coming out though is absolutely go sign up for the newsletter on the website. It's in the top of the sidebar. And we try to put out a weekly post unless something's going wrong and just we don't get to it. And then release day, we'll put out a post on release day. This Friday, or not this Friday, the 19th, there'll be a release post for the entry level.
Right.
But otherwise, we try not to flood it with posts.
Sure.
That way it doesn't get too annoying.
Yeah. Well, when we do a newsletter, is it okay if we include something in there about the new series book coming out or something from our podcast?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
You want to pimp us, man? Go for it.
Yeah, we'll put your link in there when we do a newsletter or social media or whatever. We'll start adding some of that in, man.
Well, you want a little tip for tat? Make sure to send me your logo, and I'll put a link to you guys over in our affiliates page.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'll do
Well,
that.
I just clicked your my confirmation on your email. Y'all, that's
Okay.
It's painless. Just go through there and type it in.
Well, and again, if anybody is a Discord user and you enjoy a good community of intelligent people, I mean, we get on there and we talk about a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of good intelligent conversation going on trying to help people work through problems on their novels or their short stories and things like that. Researching historical bits, stuff like that, then jump on the Discord server. We had a bot problem at one point, so there's a verification you have to do. You just have to ask the gatekeeper to ask you a question. We verify you're not a bot, and we let you in.
Absolutely.
I love
Easy enough.
Discord.
I do too.
Yeah.
I generally use it on the talking.
You will mute it really quick because it is a very active server. And like I said, writing sprints start about 0400. And we have members all around the world. We have some in New Zealand, Australia, Boas in Japan. There's a few in England, Ireland. I think we got one in Germany. And then across, the U.S., we got some in South America, stuff like that.
A long time ago, it reminded me, I had it up at work or something. I did go there with our Discord, and I was following, I was listening. I had it up, and I was doing work. And all of a sudden, I forgot I had it up, and all of a sudden, all these people started talking, and I'm like, where's that coming from? It blew my mind. I'm like, I pick up my phone like, it's not my phone. Where's that coming from? And I forgot.
I have done that myself.
It was in the background, dude. It freaked me out.
Oh.
But it was chatter. I loved it.
Yep, and it'll go in chunks, and then it'll be just quiet for a while, and all of a sudden, here it goes again.
I was talking to a buddy of mine on the phone one day, and we've been playing a video game together, so I had my Discord on earlier, and he logged into Discord and saw that it was still on and that I was still in the room. So I'm talking to him on the phone. He said, hang on a second, I'll be right back. And I laid my phone off to the side, and I hear, hey, asshole. And I turned around to see who was talking behind me. I didn't realize the blooming thing was on. And I was like, who just in my house called me up? And they had lots of laughs because they didn't stop after the first time. They just kept getting worse and worse.
Hey,
That's
Asher.
some of my buddies right there.
Folks, give Three Ravens a follow. Look at their stuff. Buy something. Help
Absolutely.
help them out. You're going to find something you like. It's very affordable. So many ways to do it. I love the fact that you've got audio books as well. A lot of people are into that.
Mhm.
And man, God bless you for the hard work you do. I know you're busting your tail, and that's inspiring. To me, that's what's great about America is people like you that are living their life, their passions, their dreams. You're working your tail off to get there. Nobody's giving you a dang thing. You're going out and grabbing it and doing it, and you're trying
Yeah.
to be a husband and a father and a worker and all that stuff. I love having people like you on all day long, man, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. That's what's great about this country is people like you, and that inspires me. And educators like Miss Elizabeth and Robert, he's a meat cutter when he was able to work, and I just love the stories of people. I love what each person. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's got something to do, and we can all learn from each other, and we do learn from each other. And so, thanks so much for giving us. Your time is precious, and I know that, and I appreciate you giving us that time tonight. When you could be doing a lot of things, it means a lot that you would do that. And any way we can help you, man, we will. And I'm dead serious, man. Halloween, man, we'll help you out with that release party, man. That's cool.
Okay, well, let's do it then.
Absolutely.
I'll get up with the authors and see who's available and see if they can jump on. I don't know how many listeners you got, but if you want to give away an audiobook to your listeners, they just got to send me an email at 3ravenspublishing@gmail.com. Put on the name of the podcast in the subject line. And if you'd like a copy of Trailer Park 1 or, say, JTF Legends, I'll send you a free audio code for Audible.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
That's
Awesome.
That way you can get a taste of it. You ain't got to spend nothing. See if you like it. And if you like it, run with it.
All right, folks. 3ravenspublishing@gmail.com. Subject line,
Just put
put
that up in
Southern
the
Fried
chat.
Podcast. And that's cool. Thank you for that.
No problem,
Miss
man.
Elizabeth, will you type that in there for a free audiobook and list the address? I can't.
Yeah.
My fingers aren't. I'm having some
Sure.
issues here.
Yeah, just let me know if you want, you want to check out JTF Legends or you want to check out the Trailer Park.
Okay.
And they're both great.
That's awesome. Now, I'm going to go back to this Kindle Unlimited again. Do you make more money if someone actually buys the book on Kindle or if they read the Kindle Unlimited?
Yes. It's honestly, it's weird, man. I've watched those numbers for the last 3 years, 4 years, whatever, that we've really had titles that I could see the numbers for. And it is evenly broke out just about, it's broke out into thirds between print, Kindle Unlimited, and just ebook. And it's so weird because it really doesn't deviate much. And I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that. I know we sell a lot of audio, but audio is a totally different thing unto itself. I have traditionally listened to more books than I've read because 1, dyslexic, 2, ADHD, and I work in engineering. So
Okay.
audiobooks save my sanity, because some of the stuff that I've had to do. And I'm a big proponent of audiobooks because you can listen to something while you're doing a mundane task, cutting the grass, doing the dishes, weeding the garden, and disappear for a little while and get some of that recharge back,
See, I can't listen to a book. I have to read it. I'm the exact opposite. I can't tell. If someone tells me a story, I lose it. But if I sit there and read it, I got it. I have to read it. So the audio books don't do much for me. But reading it,
I'm just the opposite. If I'm listening to it, I can catch it better. I mean, hands-on is hands down my number one way of learning. If I do it, I'm going to learn it. Audio is better than me reading it. because I will have to sit there and reread it like 5 or 6 times to make sure I'm doing it right. And then that little OCD squirrel's like, "You sure you read that right?" Shit. Okay, hold on. Let me read it again. You know. I hate that, man. It's like,
Yeah.
did I turn that off? Crap. And I'm calling one of the kids that's at the house still. It's like, hey, go check, make sure this is turned off, man.
Yeah.
And by the way, I just
Absolutely.
forgot till now when you mentioned. Did I read this correctly that your oldest, somebody backed into her door today? Was that you that posted that about a little fender bender out there?
Who, me?
Yeah. Did somebody in your family? I read that somebody had a fender bender. I didn't know if that was you. Somebody was posting about.
Oh, no. One of the Three Ravens partners. So there are actually 3 Ravens. Myself, Ben Smith, and R.J. Layden. Ben had somebody back into his car while they were out at a doctor's appointment or something, and he had to deal with that. And apparently they drove off on him. He tracked them long enough to get their tag number and stuff like that.
Wow.
Ben takes care of the main post. That's one less thing that I got to do, since I do a lot of the back end for processing the publishing and the editing and all that. And usually, like release day, I'll throw that post up there or something. You know, we got something special coming up or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was Ben having to deal with that one.
Well, I hate to hear that. I'm glad they're okay. That always
Yeah.
turns into a sucky day when you have to deal with something like that, especially
Yeah.
when you take off.
Well, I told him, we were actually chatting on Discord about that just a little bit after it happened. And it was like, well, you know, if it happened in that poor car would have been destroyed. This thing would have survived because it's solid.
Amen. Amen.
I stood on that trunk and be like, they don't make them like this anymore. God, I love this car.
That's for sure.
I think that's what James likes is El Camino.
Yeah.
It's old, worn out, beat up. You really can't hurt it anymore. A lot like him.
But it's such a good vehicle, though.
Yeah. Well, man,
I will
this
pay
is-
for that.
This was a stupid luck drop in my lap kind of thing. I mean, I love the 67 Impalas. And this is actually a Biscayne. So if you don't know about the Impala line, you have different trim levels that were available during those years. You have the Biscayne, you have the Bel Air, the Impala, and then the Caprice. They're all the same body, but you have different things like, you know, the side trim or interior chrome and the carpeting and things like that are different. This is actually a Biscayne. It's still an Impala, but it didn't have all the extra chrome trim and stuff like that on the outside, which doesn't hurt my feelings because I don't like chrome. Kid needed money to get out of a lease. He was going to sell his papaw's truck. His daddy's like, no, you ain't going to sell your papaw's truck. Traded him the truck for this car that he had went to Alabama to pick up. Been sitting in a field for 15 years. And kid sold it to me for stupid cheap. It's got a 455 Oldsmobile Rocket under the hood with a TH400.
Oh,
And I drove it home. The only cancer on her that I got to fix is the 2 floor pans on the passenger side. I got to replace some steel down there, and I got to replace a chunk of the trunk pan. There's no cancer on the rocker panels. The uprights are solid. The back deck is solid.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
and she's a 66.
My goodness.
Wow. One year younger than me.
But it's like a dream
It's
dropped
not a
in my
Model
lap,
T,
man.
Dave.
What, Robert?
It's not a Model T, Dave. It's an Impala. Come on.
I'm
You
born
know
in
that
65.
thing's way younger than you are.
I'm a 65
Huh?
baby.
1865.
Well, I could have survived. I could have done it.
You could have done it, yeah.
One other thing, real quick. You talked about the different, Civil War. have you wrote some of that yourself? And where do you get your research as you're trying to flesh out a story like that? Your Revolutionary War, where do you kind of get your, like, I got to go find out about this, this lamp or something that I want to write about. I mean, where do you kind of get some of that out? How do you do that?
That depends on the subject or the topic. Okay, so like, one, you find content experts that know what they're talking about. Wikipedia is a great place to start your research, but you can't trust everything unless you can prove in 3 different sources at minimum that this information is correct. Then you can kind of trust Wikipedia, because anybody can edit it. So if you go to content experts, that's the best place to get your information.
Okay.
Civil War, it comes down to hitting museums, going to reenactors, the people that actually know the information. When I wrote Widowmakers, I actually went down to the Warner Robins Air Base Museum, and they let me turn wrenches on that B-17 down there they're rebuilding. I helped install brake lines and a couple other little nitnoid things. But while I was down there, they let me climb all over an A-26, a B-25. I got to go down there and touch these aircraft. I'm an aircraft mechanic. So they're like, yeah, come on in. We want you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get to go back because COVID happened. So I haven't been back down there to help and volunteer and stuff like that. But I got to go down there and talk to the people that are rebuilding this stuff. I got to talk to the historians that knew about this particular aircraft, the service record that it had. So you talk to people. If you're writing something military, go to the VFW. Go talk to the people down there. Buy them a drink. It all depends on what kind of story you're writing and what kind of information you're wanting.
Yeah.
A lot of these conferences that we go to as authors, we're going there to sell our books to start with, but there's also other people there that we can connect with and network with. Within my circle of friends, I've got brain surgeons, I've got neurosurgeons, neurologists, archaeologists, I've got rocket scientists. One just retired over here in Huntsville, and he's been over there with NASA for a few decades now. But you get to know people and you can tap them for questions. And when it's something they're passionate about, they love answering those questions.
Sure, absolutely.
And just like I tell my baby authors, when you want to talk to somebody and you're at one of these cons or you have the opportunity, buy them a drink or buy them a meal. And the general rule of thumb is, or the unspoken word of thumb is, you have until they finish that drink or that meal to ask them questions, to have a conversation, just talk to them. Kevin J. Anderson. I don't know if you guys know that author.
I know who he is.
Every time we get a chance to sit down, I buy Kevin a beer. He loves IPAs. And we'll sit down, we'll shoot the shit for an hour or two or something at the bar. And, I may not be asking him anything in particular, but we're just shooting the shit because I can. And he has been so gracious with his time to just talk to me and give me input about things that every time I see him, I will buy that man a beer. Whether I'm talking to him or not, I will buy him a beer.
Yeah.
Just out of loyalty and a thank you. Same thing with Jonathan Mayberry.
I'm a huge fan of Frank Herbert. I've been reading the Dune books since I was in high school, going back and rereading them. And now he's gotten with Frank Herbert's son, Brian, and they're doing all the prequels and the postquels and all that. And I'm working on getting, I took a break from them, and I'm going back and trying to catch up now. They've come out with several more trilogies since I kind of took a break from it. So, but yeah.
Kevin Anderson is one of the founders for the Superstars Writing Seminar out in Colorado Springs. I think it was my second year. Could have been my first year. It's been a little bit. But while we were there at the conference, he had to go back to his room to go start proofing the Dune script because they sent it to him in the middle of the conference. This is his con.
Wow.
Oh,
So
wow.
in between his panels, he's running back to the room. He's working on the script. He'd come back, do what he needed to do, go back, work on the script, and he had to get it back to him ASAP so they could press on with filming. You know? It's just like, what the hell?
That's crazy.
You know, you go to these cons and you get to meet these people, and you don't ever put them on a pedestal. Treat them like a regular person,
Now,
and
does he
you
ever
get
come to
a totally different response. Do what?
Does he ever say come to Atlanta or somewhere local?
Oh, he'll be in Atlanta next weekend.
Oh wow.
He'll be down at Dragon Con.
Oh yeah, that's a
I'll
big
be
one.
in. Oh, that's this weekend or the next weekend?
Next weekend. Dragon Con starts Thursday, ends on Labor Day. And
Somebody told me they
everybody-
were going to that. Yeah.
I've had a lot of people asking if I was going, but this year it's like, no. The pocketbook needs a rest. I need a rest.
Yeah.
Dragon is a beast. I mean, you're talking 80,000 plus people.
Wow.
I've got to meet a lot of great people there, though. I mean, between authors, artists, narrators, hell, hanging out at the bar with a bunch of Hollywood was cool as hell.
Yeah.
A couple of them couldn't hold their liquor because they went down on Jameson real quick. But it's okay.
I may not make it this weekend, but I'm definitely. I would love to meet somebody like that. In fact, I'll bring one of the books and give him a signing. That'd be awesome.
Well,
I would.
If you want to meet and hang out with authors at Dragon Con, the Weston Bar is the author bar. That's where all the authors go back. They mingle. They network after hours con stuff is done. So go back to the Weston, and usually Friday and Saturday night are the best nights to catch people. And you can catch a lot of those big names there. As far as I know, Matt Denneman's going to be there this week or next weekend. I have no idea what his schedule is. It's probably insane because his Dungeon Crawler Carl series took off. I mean, it is gone nuts.
My goodness.
My last question before you go is, how many hours a night do you get to sleep?
Their sleep? Well, this past weekend we've been fighting COVID, so I honestly slept a lot yesterday just laying on the couch. I turned on Laughing, and I was like 9 or 10 episodes in when I woke back up. I kept waking up to Tiny Tim singing. And that is not something I wish on anybody. Well, we had went to a variety show over at the Colonnade on Friday, and when they got into the 60s, one of the little breaks in between the musical numbers, dude come out dressed as Tiny Tim playing on a little ukulele, and it's like, oh dear God. So I had to show the kids. And they just left me alone, let it keep playing. They were playing their video games. They didn't care. But dear God, Tiny Tim will invade your dreams if you leave it laying in the background. Don't do it. But yeah, normally I sleep about 4 to 5 hours a night.
I would have guessed that. Actually, that's a little more than I figured, but that's not bad, really.
For years, man, I was about 3 to 4 hours. That's my happy spot. After that, I got to get up. I got to get moving. Shit hurts. I can't stand laying here anymore. Now, depending on what's going on, I'm 4 to 5, maybe 5 to 6. I hoof it about 5 to 8 miles while doing dictation. I might sleep a little bit more.
Yeah.
And every so often, once a month or once every couple months, I might crash for 10, 12 hours. Feel like crap because I slept way too long, but the body's like, yeah, screw you, we're shutting down.
Amen.
Well, Miss Elizabeth lost service up there.
Oh,
and
I hate
she
that.
said, because it was close on time, she said she wasn't coming back in. So we only had just a few minutes left, and she just texted me here. But we are so glad that you came on with us tonight. I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I enjoyed the first time, enjoyed this time, and I'm looking forward to Halloween now. I want to.
Yeah, we can definitely do something after Halloween.
And y'all remember, if y'all want to get a free book or audio book, if you'll go to email to 3ravenspublishing@gmail.com and put in Southern Fried Podcast there in the subject line, and
tell which one they want.
Tell which one they want. The Trailer Park series, anthology series, or one of the other series that you can see there, and y'all, take it for a test drive. The audio books are for a lot of people there, so it's free. Just try it out and see what you like.
Hey, have a great time, my friend. Hillbilly, you're awesome. I appreciate you, brother.
You guys want me back on?
Yes.
Just holler at me. But yeah, we'll set up for Halloween for sure.
That sounds great, man. Good night to you. Maybe we'll see you on Halloween. That what was the name of the car behind you? What was her name?
Oh, that's Cheryl.
Cheryl. We'll see how Cheryl looks when we see you again.
As busy as he is, maybe about the same.
Yeah, well, I gotta get Mama's bike put together first.
Oh yeah. You gotta do that.
That's Veronica.
Midge is over in the far corner over there in pieces right now. I got a box to put back together.
Yeah, you better get on that first.
Yep.
Hey, thanks for everybody watching. Thanks for the kind words. Appreciate y'all.
Yes. Yeah, we thank y'all for tuning in tonight. And if y'all would, share it out as far as you can. Help Three Ravens Publishing spread the word. Share it to your friends.
It's appreciated, y'all.
Hey, thank you very much for being here, and thank you for your time, and everybody else.
I appreciate it, y'all.
We do too.
Yeah,
hey, y'all have a great night. And I gotta find the Mama Said song. There it is. All right. So now
don't hit the wrong button.
Good night, everybody.
Mama said there would be days like this when Dave and Rob start to show. There is bound to be some good times had by those who remember what Mama said. Mama said is the name.